This is Liverpool's Albert Dock, and it's where we're going to start our chocolate story, because cocoa has always come into the port of Liverpool.
Right by the cruise terminal are three of Liverpool's iconic buildings: the Royal Liver Building, the Cunard Building and the Port of Liverpool Building. And these may be best seen from across the river. So if you fancy getting a ferry across the Mersey, Jerry Pacemaker style, this is the place to get your ferry.
Ellesmere Port is across the Mersey, and that was once the largest inland waterway dock complex in the UK. A major place for all shipments to go around the canal system. It was the start of the Shropshire Union Canal, and they built the most incredible viaducts to get your chocolate to the Cadbury's factory. Look at this ridiculous waterway up in the air, and to prove we were on it, we're canoeing across this incredible viaduct on our way to Cadbury's. Now that's not the width of the iron sides. The iron plates are really thin, and they're waterproofed with tar and sheep's wool. All that to get to Bournville. The Shropshire Canal was completed in 1792, and John Cadbury opened his tea and coffee and chocolate shop in 1824. This is now Cadbury World. Is it worth visiting? Well, kind of, if you can get it cheap, but it is quite expensive. And here, a couple of tips. You do not need to buy a purple bag on the way in, because all the way around we found nothing to want to put in it. But you might do in the gift shop afterwards. So it starts with a little wander through the rainforest. Most of the cocoa beans come from Ghana or the Ivory Coast, some from the Caribbean. Good question. And the first words from our 4-year-old's mouth, is it where Willy Wonka lives? No, it's a static exhibition type thing of the Aztecs with some questions like, did they make steel? We read a question from the info screen to Dexter.
The Aztecs knew the secret to making very strong steel. True or false? You're right.
Daddy.
It's quarters in his neck.
Heidi, who's 6, said no, and Dexter, who's 4, asked about Willy Wonka again.
He had the recipe for making chocolate with the quarters. He brought it back to Europe in 1528. And then they made their way from Spain to England.
This is the ship he's on that we're in.
What's going to happen?
This is his ship. Yeah, this is his ship.
Or something happened? Ooh.
All the screens are set back behind a ledge which is way above the eye level of a toddler, so you have to lift them up. And the stories are rather cold and clinical and need explaining.
Just as I suspected.
When you get into the theatre section, there is what looks like a stage, and as you await some form of production, there is a slideshow.
I set up my business in 1824 to trade tea and coffee. I also sold cocoa nibs I prepared myself, chocolate and coffee beans.
So as we continue to question ourselves as to whether this is actually for children, John Cadbury starts talking about his high taxes.
Because I had to pay high taxes on the cocoa beans. That's when my brother Benjamin joined me. And together we formed Cadbury Brothers.
By this time, Dexter, who's 4, but who's pretty smart, has realised that Willy Wonka's not about to arrive. And although he thought he wasn't starting school until September, it started here and now. Sit quietly, Dexter.
Our story starts over there, where you can see a farmer and his team planting our young cocoa trees. Hello there!
So this was our second theatre, and I've nothing against education. In fact, it's quite educational. We learned the chocolate came all the way from Ghana, and it was kind of saved by 1 or 2 little special effects. But in this day and age, they are small special effects. And as many were looking forward to the show ending, they helped the chairs vibrate by wobbling the children. Second show over, we move on to the next attraction, where we learn from this episode of The Factory that Cadbury's produce 35 million Easter eggs every year. Sadly, the next demonstration was suffering from a failed microphone, so not many people were stopping. But let me help you out here, because I can tell you, John Cadbury used to prepare the chocolate himself using a mortar and pestle method. Now, I can show you this because we saw it in Boston in a demonstration, which you can see here, was given in a small house on part of a walking tour.
Never ever write it down. You don't want your competitors to get your recipe, and that's the customers.
So right now you can make chocolate like they used to.
Yeah, easy. Bitter by our preparation. So I scrape it off. Again, pop into my mold down there once I had enough. Pop in there.
Just like the screens in the rainforest section of Cadbury's World, the lady explained to us that chocolate was originally made with spices and not sugar, although sugar was eventually added, but very expensive. Let's leave our cruise stop of Boston in New England, which we did a number of years ago, and get back to Cadbury's World in Birmingham and their chocolate making story. And this is what the queue was for, the chocolate sushi bar. Empty cups go round on a conveyor belt, and when you ask to be served, you get some molten chocolate with any 2 of the 4 available toppings dropped into the cup. And inside this window, you can see they're making a chocolate teapot. So the kids are just getting excited, and it's about to get messy and a bit more exciting at Cadbury's World. But our chocolate story is going to take a little detour to Bruges.
Every other shop is a chocolate shop, and you can't resist.
Tools, toys, shoes, everything you can think of. From a rose to give your partner to speciality chocolates. Bruges is Chocolate City.
So we have raspberry, we have spicy ones, hot chocolate with chili pepper, we have poppy seed in the chocolates, lavendel, violet flavor, caramels, mint, coffee flavors, some liquors, cognac, champagne.
Can I try a chili one?
Sure you can.
Delicious. Spicy. Tell Gino Doris sent you.
Back to Cadbury's World.
I'm running chocolate, and then I would.
And their collection of chocolate things they've made. And we're about to go on the Cadbury's World ride.
Hello, it's me, Freddo. Your quest is to collect some of the key ingredients you need to make the perfect Cadbury chocolate bar.
To save you misunderstanding the game, the guns have a colour, and that's the colour of cocoa pod or milk you need to shoot. If you get the right colour, you get a point. You get the point? Good, you got a point.
Now it's time to collect the milk.
We're going to get the milk. See, you're blue with us and you're red with us.
Got to hurry! Help the monkeys load the train!
Shoot the chocolate bars. When you shoot them, they wrap up. Look.
Wonderful!
You shoot the milk.
Excitement over. Now there's another cue. This time for you to have a go at getting messy. Do not eat the chocolate. This chocolate is reused for gaming purpose only. To recycle it and save money and waste, it is not edible chocolate. Can I suggest, if you have one of those painting coveralls or protectors, those little polythene things you wrap up and take to play school, you carry one with you, because it's gonna get messy.
What are you going to draw, lady?
It's raining chocolate.
I'm going to play too.
So before we pop outside to the play area and the 4D film, let's take a trip to Grenada in the Caribbean.
Is the House of Chocolate, the Chocolate Museum. It's gorgeous in here. The smell is delicious and it's lovely and cool. And this is Rena, and Rena's going to explain what you can expect to find here.
So at House of Chocolate, we have a small chocolate museum where we offer a complimentary tour. We explain where chocolate comes from. We explain the process we follow here in Grenada to make our dark chocolate. We also tell you how you get cocoa butter and cocoa powder and so.
So we have our spice market, we have our nutmegs, we have our spices, we have our cloves, those are our chocolates.
Two things left to do at Cadbury World. There is the outside play area, which you do not need to queue for. The entrance is there in the middle. The queue on the right-hand side in the tunnel is for the film. So you can go to the play area while one of you waits in the queue for the film. Hidden at the back of the play area is a face painter. As it's hidden, there isn't a queue. The play area is good, and there is a tuck bar or cafe. The Chocolate Adventure film is a 4D film, meaning the film's in 3D and the seats wobble to make it a 4D. It only lasts about 5 minutes. It's quite interesting, but I think the kids were very disappointed at how short it was. But they enjoyed playing outside. This Doris Visits film starred Luke, Heidi and young Dexter. I guess you'll get to see them again. Thanks for watching the Doris Visits Port videos. It means so much to us. Please hit the subscribe button and share with your friends. And if you have time, I'd love you to read Cruise Ship Heist, the first of our cruise thrillers.